Namaste everybody. Yesterday, our beloved Prime Minister requested the entire nation to light lamps, diyas, candles or at least turn on the flashlight on our mobile phones at 9 p.m. for 9 minutes. Well, different people have had different interpretations about this request. Well, some people have given an astrological, scientific reason to it, while some other people just believe that it's just a general request to unite the nation under such a moment of crisis. But today, let's amalgamate a spiritual, scientific reason behind what could be the potential benefits of doing such a gesture as per the request of Prime Minister to the entire nation. Well, some people might be perplexed by now that we will abide by the guidelines given by the Prime Minister. Why do we even need an explanation for this? Well, an explanation is necessary because let's assume a student goes to the examination by just by-hearting what is in the textbook. Well, there could be a possibility that the student will gain good marks, but we know that the merit is going to be temporary because the student cannot integrate the essence of what the learning has really taught to the child. Whereas if a person is trying to understand what the textbook is trying to tell, if he is trying to integrate that in their own life and then give exams, whether that person gains good marks or not, we know that the advantage is going to get extended throughout the life. Similarly, when we are doing such an act where all of us are integrating our energy tomorrow, let's try to understand the essence of it so that the merits can be amplified tomorrow when we are doing this. Well, I have an humble request to make to everybody that if you can light a natural lamp or a diya instead of a candle or a torch, it can give more benefit to the environment at large than using something artificial. We all light a natural lamp like this on occasions like Diwali or maybe any other secret event. Some of us light this on a daily basis during our prayers or puja. But we should know that an act of lighting a natural lamp like this integrates all the 5 elements within our own self. For instance, the mud that is used to make this lamp represents the earth element. The oil that is used correlates with the water element within our own self. The flame represents the sky element and the wick that is used represents the air element which is using the air to burn. Now, when we do such a gesture, we are not just integrating the 5 elements or the Panchabhutas that has been mentioned in Ayurveda or Yoga for thousands of years, but we also try to rectify the energy field around us. Now, most of us know that we have a pool of energy around us called as aura. Now, when we do such a gesture of lighting a lamp where we heal or balance the 5 elements, we are healing the unevenness in our energy field. This amplifies the flow of life force energy or prana shakti within us, which can amplify the immune system. Now, this in turn helps our mind to be strong under such an occasion of crisis or fear that is surrounding us, and also help us to gather that potential, that strength within ourselves, which can in turn have a magnificent impact on the immunity. Well, our aura which is existing around us, it's not just around the human body, but also around the entire earth as well. So when we are doing such an act where energies of millions and millions of people are gathered, the energy field around the earth or the aura around the earth is also healed. Now, this can be of great benefit to the environment. Under whatever conditions that we are going through currently, such an act can be of great benefit. Now, most of the other ancient Indian scriptures also believe that oil represents the negative tendencies of a human being, whereas the wick represents the ego. When we light a lamp by using the wisdom and the grace that is inside us, this very effulgence or the radiance that comes out of this lighting a lamp process wards off the negative tendency. Well, we all know that one part of the nation is trying hard to negate the negativity that has occurred because of the fear of COVID-19, whereas the other group of people are making deliberate efforts to amplify the fear and problems. By doing such a gesture, we can definitely ward off the negative intentions of certain wicked-minded people for sure. Now, other ancient scriptures also tell us that if you can use a lamp which is made up of dry cow dung, which is called as gobar in Hindi. So if you can use such cakes to burn it, it can be of greater benefit because this discharges negative ions into the environment. Now, when you light a lamp which can discharge a lot of negative ions either by lighting a ghee lamp or by using such a cow dung, which is usually used in a lot of homa and havan, in a lot of sacred procedures in Vedic spiritual practices, that emits a lot of positive particles or negative ions, which when discharged into the environment can negate a lot of negative energy or negative tendencies. Now, we also know that when cow dung is burnt, according to the principle or research that's been made as per Agnihotra, that such positive particles or good particles can actually ward off or reduce the existence of bad bacteria and viruses. A lot of research papers substantiate the same. I request you guys to go through that to find out more about the merits of burning a dry cow dung cake. If it is possible, it is a humble request that please light that as well. Now, the other thing is, lighting a lamp can act as an intention amplifier. Now, when we light a lamp, it is believed as per the ancient scriptures that it integrates the energy of the mind and the heart. Now, we all know that mind is often brooding with a lot of negative thoughts and negative intentions. When we connect with our heart, which is a sacred space of positivity, which is a space of representing the effulgence and the fire of knowledge and wisdom, we can very easily and effectively ward off the negative tendencies and intentions and fear that is being registered in our mind or we have been contemplating on. So it becomes a very good positive energy booster by integrating the head and the heart, and that's believed to be a most sacred event or a gesture. Now, the other most important thing that the sacred scriptures put importance on is representation of the Atma Jyoti. Now, we all know that these fear or diseases or trouble can exist only at the physical level. It is only the mind or the body or the cell or the tissue or the bone which can get into trouble. But the soul, the innate potential which is existing in all of us is omnipotent. It cannot be affected by any of these conditions or criticalities. So when we are doing a gesture of lighting a lamp, we recall that we are actually that humongous potential which can turn anything out into a positive situation. So this realization of the Atma Jyoti within our own self is extremely crucial and important. Now, the other most important thing that the Prime Minister requested all of us to do is to meditate for 9 minutes. Now, this, dear friends, is extremely beneficial. Now, we all know that when we emit a thought, it's just not a process that the brain does, but every thought is basically a wave of energy. We all realize that, isn't it? So, everything basically is an energy. For example, an object, an item, when you decode it further, these atoms, these cells, when split further, are electrons, protons or neutrons. When you dive in further, it has been proved that there exists emptiness or vacuum. And it is believed that this vacuum is significant energy that is existing in that vacuum or space. This has been mentioned in our ancient Vedic scriptures as well. Now, when everything is ultimately energy, when we have positive intentions, as in most of us as good citizens of our country want this COVID-19 to go away, we want all of us to come back to our usual regular lifestyle, we are also aspiring and blessing good things, but then we need to do some act to manifest this, to bring this into reality. We should understand that a thought will begin this process, but an emotion will amplify it. For instance, if you're blessing an occasion, if you're praying for it, if you're thinking positive rather than thinking fearful or being skeptical, if you're thinking positive, these positive emotions can amplify the potential energy that is existing behind this intention. Now, how do we give an energy momentum to this? Through a gesture, through an action. So if you're just thinking, let this go away, let us do something good, let this, criticality get over, you can't really manifest that into a reality. So what should you do? To give this a momentum, you should do a gesture or an action. And something like this can prove to be extremely beneficial. Now, I'm sure by now some of the skeptical minded people are wondering as to how does this have anything scientific to do? Now, my request is that you use your searching tools to find out about the observer effect that's been proved as per quantum mechanics or quantum physics. Now, what is this observer effect? Now, as per the observer effect, if a phenomena or an object is just observed post the observation, that very energy wave is converted into a particle. As in, unless and until you are observing, it is behaving in a particular manner, but later after observation, the very outcome of it is changed. So, if all of us are integrating our power of intentions at the same time, we can definitely give a boost to the positive intention that's existing only at the mind level. So, if scientists have proved as per quantum physics that by observation the very outcome can be changed, then imagine what can be the impact of you observing the phenomena. Please do key in this term, observer effect, and find out how scientifically logical this act can be and how beneficial this can prove to be. Now, if you still have doubts about it, if you are a logical driven person, I request that you read books. We have a lot of people who develop a lot of doubts but do not make enough efforts to know more about it. There are ample of books out there to prove the power of intention and positive thoughts. One of my favorites is a book called Zero Limits. Here the author called Colin G. Smith speaks about his own experience of how he uses his power of intention through a process called Oponopono, where there is a crisis and he wants to handle it by taking up responsibility on his own self. So he develops a tool, he develops a process or a phenomena with the power of intention and converts the adverse situation into positive. Do read this book. I'm sure it is available online. This is one of the best sellers in the Western countries. This will give you enough reasons as to how, if you pool your intentions together with a positive mindset, you can convert an outcome into something that you aspire for. Well, friends, a lot of people have even given an astrological analysis about the situation, telling that this is an auspicious time. As per some signs, this is proven to be a planetary position of so and so and things like that. But I am of an opinion that if like-minded people come with a sacred heart space to do something good for an event or an occasion or for a nation, that very occasion becomes sacred. For instance, when Rama was born, that star becomes auspicious. That day is converted into a festival. When Krishna kills a demon, that day is celebrated, isn't it? So, when all of us are coming together under the guidance of such a great leader, that day can become a significant learning to a lot of other nations and a lot of other people. Also, tomorrow from our wellness center, we are making a small effort to create this energy grid. We have been doing this from past 3 weeks. Tomorrow at 6 in the evening, we are doing a Facebook Live where for 15 minutes, all of us online are chanting Om to bring in that vibes, that positivity all around us. Do join us, and also do not forget to meditate for those 9 minutes. It is extremely important and crucial. I personally believe that it is a great occasion, great opportunity. Even if you are aspiring for some sacred event like this in future, I don't think it will be available. So let's make best use of this to bless the world and bless our Mother Earth and particularly Mother India. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do share this information to a lot of other people so that you in turn can be benefited, as the energy is magnified at the largest extent by sharing the information to a lot of other people. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to participate tomorrow at 9 p.m.